Hey guys, Josh here from Momentum Productions, and today we are going to be talking about 4K footage versus HD footage on the DJI Mavic Pro. The results may shock you, so make sure you watch the whole video. Alright, let's get to the comparison. So first off, we are looking at 720p footage with normal color settings. When we zoom in to 200%, we can already start to see how soft all of the footage is getting, and we are losing a ton of detail here. Specifically look at the bushes and trees and you'll notice how mushy they have become. When we zoom in at 400%, we see a complete mess. Again, this is unusable footage and it just looks like a complete wreck. So 720p is a no-go, especially for 400% zoom. Let's take a look at 1080p footage. At a 200% zoom, the 1080p footage already looks way better than the 720p footage. We have more detail surrounding the edges of the subjects in the frame. This is a huge thing to look at when you are comparing footage with different resolutions. Let's go into 400%. Alright, so it's similar to the 720p footage, basically unusable. However, it is still slightly better than the 720 footage. Things are really blurry and mushy here, but subjects here have slightly more detail. Here we are comparing the 1080p footage with the 720p footage. This is without any zoom, and both footages have the same color profile set to normal. Here we can definitely tell that the 1080p footage is sharper than the 720p footage. Again, look at the tips of the trees and all the edges surrounding the subjects. Here we are at a 200% zoom with both the 1080p footage and the 720p footage. With the side-by-side view, we can see how much better the 1080p footage is doing compared to the 720p footage. Here's our 4K footage with no zoom at normal color profile. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Everything looks sharper and prettier in 4K. Let's go in for a zoom. At a 200% zoom, the 4K footage is holding up quite well. We can see that a lot of the details are still there, but because of zooming in, we are losing details in the grass, trees, bushes, and on the red tiles on the house. Let's zoom in to 400%. Here we can see that compared to the other two footages before, this really holds up. But is it usable? I don't think so, because a lot of the detail here is lost. The tiles on the roof are mushy, the leaves on the trees are mushy, and so is the grass. But compared to the 720p and the 1080p footage, 4K is crowned king. Here are all three resolutions side by side. You can really start to tell which footage is the 4K footage, especially at the 400% zoom. Now let's shoot in DLog footage. DLog is a flat color profile in the DJI Go app. DLog is supposed to bring us more dynamic range and slightly better picture quality. Let's see if it holds up. Here I am at 200% zoom on the 720p DLog setting. You can see how degraded the picture quality has become. A great way to determine to see if there was a lot of picture quality loss is to look at people's hair. Look at my hair on my head and on my beard. Does it look out of focus? Does it look blurry? Let me know what you think. In my opinion, I feel like it just looks a big hairy mush. And it's not something I think I will be able to use in my projects. So 200% with the 720p shot at DLog is definitely not an option for me. With the 400% zoom, again, I'm not happy with the results. Here's the 1080p footage. It already looks sharper. With a 200% zoom, we do lose some detail, but I feel like we can still use this footage if we add some sharpening in post-production. However, the 400% zoom looks completely unusable. Here's the 720p and the 1080p footage side by side. Here's the 4K footage. Obviously, it looks great with no zoom, so let's zoom in. 4K footage is impressive. We do have some detail to work with here, and this is definitely usable footage at 200% zoom. I feel like DLog does a little bit to enhance this picture quality. So when you're shooting, shoot in DLog and see how it works for you. At 400%, unfortunately, the 4K footage falls out of the race, just like the rest of the footages. But this is 400%, it's quite the zoom. And it is definitely better than the 1080p and the 720p footage. Here are all three footages side by side. You can definitely see the winner. It's 4K. With the 4K footage, you are definitely seeing a huge difference compared to the 1080p and the 720p footage. I hope this video showed you a proper comparison of how resolution affects your image quality. If you like this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Also, check out my website at www.capturethemomentum.com, and over there I have a newsletter which will give you free cinematography and photography tips, so make sure to sign up for that. And if you're a company and you'd like me to create review or tutorial videos on your products, you can email me at info@capturethemomentum.com. I can't wait to see what you guys create. I'll see you up in the air. Bye-bye.